Good afternoon and welcome to Season 3 of the Lion's Den.
I'm Collin and this is Dan Sherman. Football's 2-2 in the season and traveled to Wilkes on Saturday to take part in King's homecoming game. Albright led by just 4 at halftime, but soon pulled away for a 48-29 victory.
A pair of block kicks had kept the Monarchs in the game heading into halftime. The Lions attempted a 51-yard field goal on the final play of the half, but Daniel Sobolewski's boot was knocked down by and returned the other way by Anthony Martuccio. The touchdown left Albright with just a 14-10 lead at the break.
3 touchdowns were scored in a stretch of 2:26 early in the second half, beginning with an 8-yard running score from fifth-year senior Ty Hughes that put the Red and White ahead 21-10. Hughes totaled 89 rushing yards on 18 carries.
Junior Chris Stevens then blocked and recovered a punt in the end zone for a 28-10 Albright lead, but the Monarchs struck on the very next play. Quarterback Tyler Hantraft hit Dan Kempa over the top for an 84-yard score to make it 28-17.
On the next Albright possession, Luddy found Daniel McNair down to the Kings' 2-yard line, and Hughes carried it in 2 plays later for a 35-17 scoreline. McNair and Uriah Brickhouse also scored late touchdowns for Albright.
Luddy completed 24 of 35 passes for 305 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions, while also booting a 60-yard punt. He was named to the MAC Weekly Honor Roll. McNair with 9 catches, 139 yards, and a touchdown, and Devron Clark with 7 catches, 118 yards, and a touchdown were his top targets. Women's soccer won a wild game at Shirk Stadium last week, going up 3-0 over FDU-Florham before having to hold on to a late 3-2 victory.
In the 36th minute, freshman Emily Sousa was fouled inside the box, granting the Lions a penalty kick. On the kick, senior Mel Sullivan buried her shot past Annie George for her second goal of the season.
The Albright momentum carried its way into the second half when 5 minutes in, Sousa darted past the FDU-Florham defense and drilled her 5th goal of the season.
The Lions' offensive surge continued when Sousa gathered a ball and found sophomore Rebecca Sartorio for the finish, giving Albright a seemingly commanding 3-0 lead.
However, the Devils rallied with Jennifer DeGioia scoring twice in the final 17 minutes for FDU-Florham. Albright held on at the end despite several more chances for the visitors.
Sousa contributed to all 3 Lion tallies, earning the penalty kick and then recording a goal and an assist. Sophomore goalie Alexis LaRusso made 4 saves before leaving the game at 3-0 with an injury.
Men's soccer earned a big point at home last week, drawing 0-0 with visiting Scranton University. Scranton made the 2012 NCAA Elite 8 and came into Shirk Stadium with an undefeated record. Sophomore goalie David Ora made 4 saves and was named the Commonwealth Conference Defensive Player of the Week.
The Albright volleyball team has been steadily improving under first-year head coach Alex Kennedy and earned its second 2013 sweep of rival Alvernia with a 3-0 win in the Bowman Center.
Krista Mance, a senior, ran off 4 consecutive service aces in the second game and finished with 6 total. Alvernia led 10-7 in Game 2, forcing Albright to call timeout. Coming out of the break, Mance led a 7-0 run with 4 straight service aces. She nearly had 5 as her next attempt was dug back over the net and easily blocked down by classmate Morgan Heath.
After an 8-1 Crusader run in the third and final set, Albright rallied again. 2 straight Maddie Greff kills put the Lions back on top. Greff then had 3 straight kills to make it 24-19 and bring Albright to match point.
The Lions finished off a 25-14, 25-15, 25-19 victory. Greff, a freshman, hit .320 with 9 kills on the day. That included an impressive stretch of 7 kills over Albright's final 13 points as the Lions went to her time after time to close out the contest. Junior Kirsten Stanford had 7 total blocks, including 4 in the opening set. Field hockey is 5-5 overall, but 4-1 on the Shirk Stadium turf. Despite being outshot 35-9 by Wilkes last week, the Lions prevailed 2-1 over the Colonels thanks to an outstanding performance by senior goalkeeper Marguerite DeLucas.
Albright opened the scoring on a penalty corner late in the first half. Freshman Morgan Ranieri played the ball into senior Chelsea Klein, who slotted a perfectly placed shot inside the near post for a 1-0 lead.
After Wilkes tied it in the second half, Klein struck again early in overtime. The senior forced the ball into the net after Colonel goalie Alexis Reed had made a pair of saves on Klein and Mackenzie Freed.
DeLucas made 15 saves and allowed just 1 goal, and would later earn Commonwealth Conference Defensive Player of the Week honors for her exploits. She followed that with a first-half shutout in a win over Hood, extending her school record to 28 career victories.
That wraps up this month's episode. Homecoming is just a few weeks away, and football will host Wilkes at 1 p.m. That will be followed by a soccer doubleheader against rival Lebanon Valley, while cross-country hosts a home meet at Daniel Boone Homestead in Exeter.
Keep checking AlbrightAthletics.com for all the latest news and recaps, and join us here next time on The Lion's Den.
Boom.